Hinckley's column.
Yes.
Just who's responsible for putting together in the radio industry, right, as far as being rated top talk show host? I mean,
well, read the article.
It's number one.
It's an article. It's not based on ratings. It's Talkers Magazine. You know, Talkers Magazine used to they put out a list every year of who the most influential radio guys are.
Right. That's the only time they get any kind of publicity at all.
And when I was on terrestrial radio, I was always like the most influential guy in radio. And they make up the list. They don't base it on anything.
No, it's an editorial group, and they sit around and they name names.
And when I went to satellite radio, suddenly I was no longer the most influential guy. In fact, they hated me because Talkers Magazine is paid for by the terrestrial radio industry.
Right.
So they're not allowed to really acknowledge me that much. But if Rush Limbaugh wants to say he's the most, what is it?
Influential
radio guy, let him say it if he really thinks that. He's not. I told you, to be the most influential, you've got to be a morning man. That's number one. If you're on any time of day other than mornings in terrestrial radio, you're nothing. You're a speck of dust. I used to laugh at that. Yeah, morning radio is the most competitive. Is where the radio stations make their money.
I mean,
I am the most successful radio personality,
absolutely,
of all time. Now, I don't say that to brag. I'm embarrassed to say it if I'm the best there is.
It's fact.
But it's the fact. And why is it the fact? Because I was on. And when I say I mean we, Robin.
Okay.
Okay, I mean I. I was on 6 to 10 in the morning in various radio markets. I believe at our height we were on in 67 markets in the morning.
And you had a 9 share at times,
Excuse me, Bobo. Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
We were number one in the majority of these markets. When I say majority, I mean almost every one. I mean, you could probably pick out 2 or 3 we were in number one. But Philadelphia, L.A., all the big markets. The number one morning show. Billions of dollars were generated. I left on my own terms. I wasn't fired. I could have stayed there forever. And then I moved over to satellite with an audience that turned this company into the number one satellite company, forcing a merger. Then to boot, anyone who ever followed me in that time slot on all of my stations failed miserably. Not failed miserably.
Right.
We shall never see the likes of me again. I'm so wonderful. And that's the truth. Rush Limbaugh is the most influential. No, he's not. He's on middays. I used to say, put Rush Limbaugh on in the morning against me. Put him on. Let's go. He wouldn't do it.
Howard, you know what they say? Dine Imus is number 33. They go.
Dine Imus? Dine Imus is what?
Number 33. And
every market they put him on in, he fails. He's never been successful in New York. He's moderately successful. I don't even know how he did that. And the only time his ratings went up was after I left. Because some people were forced to listen to him. He's like a cancer.
I mean, to put Geraldo Rivera at 75 is crazy. He's much better than I.
I didn't even know Geraldo Rivera was on the radio.
Yeah.
I don't know that he has any influence, Geraldo Rivera. But look, in terms of radio.
They're trying to put together a magazine article.
But in terms of radio, it is hands down proven fact. You know, Talkers Magazine I wouldn't pay any attention to because, as David Hinckley, I don't know if he pointed out in the article. I didn't get to read the article entirely. Mm-hmm. But he should point out that it's bought and paid for by the radio industry, the terrestrial radio industry. You know, they used to make me feel really good when I was on terrestrial radio. The second I left, they were, Howard's irrelevant. People would like to think I'm irrelevant. They like to write, Howard became irrelevant. Irrelevant? I base relevance on, A, what you're paid and what you command in terms of an audience. If Rush Limbaugh came over to satellite radio tomorrow, he wouldn't bring 1,000 subscribers with him. He wouldn't bring 1,000. This is why I'm valuable to this company. There's nobody else who could do what I did. There's no question who the most influential person is in radio. It's me, and then there's no one else.
That's right.
No one. And you could hear guys fighting this all day. Oh, Howard. It's the truth. And they're all jealous of me, and they hate me. They hate me for it. I've never seen so much jealousy as I've seen in the radio industry. People cannot stand my success. They hate it. And you know what? They don't like that I brag about it and that I'm arrogant. You know, I shouldn't say I'm the most successful. Why not? Why shouldn't I say it?
Oh, you should let them? They're never going to say it.
Let me see one other radio performer come over to this company and bring... I'm sitting here waiting for somebody to bring some audience to this fucking business. My stock would go up. Who knows? Maybe they're going to have to pay my bonus one day. I'm not giving that up. But here's the thing. It would only be good if we could find some radio. What radio performer can we go out? Believe me, I've had this discussion with Mel and with other people when Mel and I used to talk. I mean, say, who is it? Satellite has money. What personality can we bring tomorrow to this company that can do what I did? We want that again. We'll pay him a king's ransom. Is that what it's called, the king's ransom?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Who is it, Robin? Name them.
I can't.
Right. We tried it with Riley Martin. I mean, seriously, who can bring an audience with them?
Nobody.
And the answer is nobody. So you want to talk about who the most influential person is in radio? There's me, and then there's no one. The whole list should be this: Howard Stern. And after that, no one. Because not one of them brings an audience with them.
When you watch Talk Radio, you had 18 million, right? And then over here, you have 20 million. They never thought that was possible.
All right, Bobo, I got to go. I love you.
I love you too, man.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thanks.
That's Bobo. Bobo, what is Bobo's last name?
I don't know.
Why?
Why?
He's Bobo.
I was just going to say, oh, that's Bobo. Bobo the Clown? I mean, what is it?
Bobo the Clown.
What is your last name, or you don't give it?
I give it Bowie.
Bowie?
Bobo
Bowie?
Bobo Bowie? Is it really Bowie?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, man. Look me up.
Bobo Bowie?
Yeah.
You're a liar.
No, I put Bobo in there because they call me Bobo all my life.
Bobo Bowie.
Yeah, Bobo the Clown, you know.
Is it Bobo Bowie?
Bowie is absolutely his last name. What his first name is, I don't know.
Oh, my God. He's Bobo Bowie?
Yes.
How do we not know that?
I don't know.
Baba Bowie. Baba Bowie.
Baba Bowie. Baba Bowie.
Ooh, there really is a Baba
Did you
Bowie.
freak out when Baba Bowie became Gary's name?
Baba Bowie.
No.
No. Why would... Bobo Bowie.
I would have been calling saying, no, that's my name.
Shit. Wow. All right, that's Bobo Bowie.
Oh, my.
Bobo Bowie.
All right, Bobo, thank you.
All right, thanks, man.
Bobo Bowie.
That's amazing.
Look at this note. He sometimes goes by Bobo Stardust.
What?
What is that about? What do you mean? He has made up names? Oh, it's a joke? How is that a joke? I don't get it. Like David Bowie is
Yeah, like Ziggy Stardust, that's what we were going for, sorry.
Who wrote that? Because they're fired. Who wrote
Steve
that?
Brandano did.
Steve,
Was that a joke?
Steve, who lets you near a computer to write me a note?
I'm on the computer all day.
Gary, is there any fucking buddy watching what's going on? That guy's an intern. His name is Bobo Stardust. Steve, when did you become a comedy writer? What's the matter with you? Steve Brandano wrote Bobo Stardust. I thought I was like, oh, I guess Bobo has a bunch of...
Bobo has a bunch of names.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep talking.
When is that intern show on? That's when you'll talk. Bobo Bowie. Wow. Steve, when is your show? Let's give a... Oh, there he is. Steve, when is the intern show?
The intern show is Thursday night.
Yeah, that's when you can say Bobo Stardust. Thursday night, you'll say that, okay?
Okay.
All right. How are you? You look good.
I'm good.
I like that
Thank
beard.
you.
Makes you look more grown up.
I try.
Looks like he's 15.
You know that I'm on that computer, like...
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm going to have you taken off. Don't worry.
Okay.
No one's going to stress you out. Tune in Thursday for Steve's final intern show. I like Steve. I do. He looks like he'd lost weight. I wish I could lose weight. I want to lose.
He's thin.
He is thin. And that beard looks nice on him. I bet you he's getting laid, that little prick.
Doesn't I think he broke up with his girlfriend.
Are you getting laid, Steve?
He was dating a really cute girl. For
No,
a while.
yeah, he's actually looking handsome to me. What did you get on the ugly meter?
I didn't do it.
Why? You look like you could actually score some points. He actually looks good. Look at him, Robin.
I've always thought he was good looking.
Would you go out with him?
Why would he need the ugly meter?
No, I wonder. I bet
Good
you he
point.
scored. I bet you he scored well.
But he doesn't need verification. Just like Will wasn't
Well,
lining up,
you used
people
to-
made him take
Which is
it.
weird. Why
You used to be
Lieberman thinks so.
gross. Now you look kind of like handsome. or
I'm
something.
trying.
Yeah.
So
Hey, you look good with that beard. I'm thinking of maybe doing that.
sometimes wear a tie.
How do you trim that thing? What do you use?
I got a razor that I go over it
Oh,
with.
yeah?
With
Doesn't that hurt?
the adjustments. You know what I mean?
You've got
yeah.
an electric groomer.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I do that.
Howard, I think the reason Steve looks thinner is he stopped drinking completely.
Wow.
Oh, really?
I was never heavy.
No, well, I didn't think you were heavy either. But
You look good.
Not drinking will make you thin.
I guess. I don't think my body was any different when I was, but I'll take it.
What's this? You were dating one of the interns?
Yeah, I brought her to the Christmas party.
Who?
Katie.
Oh, Katie?
Yeah.
Katie Smiles. The one
Ronnie
the one-
calls her that. I never called her that, but yeah.
That's the one. That's the girl Ronnie creeped out.
Yeah.
Smile.
Exactly.
Hey, Smiles.
Hey,
Me, Ronnie.
Dimples.
Hey. Ronnie had nicknames for some of the interns. I put a stop to that. Katie must have been appreciative that I stopped that.
Yes.
You know, I heard Ronnie was picking out some of the girls and giving them special
Giving
names,
them nicknames.
pet
yeah.
names.
Yeah, but now he really doesn't talk to the interns, which hurts as the host of the intern show.
No,
because
that's
there's less
good.
to talk about.
No, it helps Howard
Gotcha.
do his business. Yeah. Wow. You stopped drinking, huh?
Yeah.
Why?
Because my doctors have been telling me with diabetes for a while that I shouldn't be doing it, and I was always like, "Fuck off," you know.
Right.
Thank you, Fred. And
What a rebel. You told your doctor to fuck off? When
well,
he
I
told
didn't say
you,
fuck
bastard.
off. You know, I just
hey,
didn't
man,
listen to
fuck
them.
you. Well, dude, I'm just trying to help you.
I just didn't listen to them.
Fuck off, doctor.
You're a cocksucker.
But
I heard Richard Christie started crying when you told him you weren't going to drink.
yeah, Richard was very upset. I don't.
Yeah.
That's shameful.
But diabetes is a bitch. You can't even drink.
Yeah, but for
Well,
Richard
well,
to
you
start
kind of
crying,
can, but you kind of can. It's just not good for you. It's,
Right.
You know. But I'm turning 30 soon,
Yeah.
so
So you were going out with Katie Smiles, huh?
I was going out with Katie.
And what have you broke up with her?
We broke up,
Yeah.
but
Look at you little stud. And now
guess.
you getting anybody now?
Nope.
Wow.
This was the end of January. I guess we broke up.
Look at this fucking guy.
So single for a little bit. But we're going to the sci-fi upfronts tonight.
Who is? You and Katie?
No. Jason and I think Ralph is going.
Right.
But it's all like sales
sci-fi
girls.
up front.
It's all sales girls that are there. So
Oh, they're hot.
hopefully, yeah,
Sales girls are hot.
yeah.
What are the Oh, you mean those stations?
Yeah,
the
yeah,
channels.
channel.
You mean Sci-Fi
Exactly.
Channel?
Okay.
Yeah. Beth went to the upfronts last night for HGTV. That's where her
Okay.
TV show is going to air, and it's. I said HGTV has upfronts.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even know they got that deep into the channels for upfronts.
Well, they all want to act like they're real networks.
I see.
So they're doing what the real networks do.
Ah.
You know what I mean? I work for NBC. You know, we're a real network.
Right. I thought it was only the real networks that did upfronts.
That's right, Robin. These other guys. Yeah, so Beth told me she went. She was all dialed up.
Uh-huh.
I didn't see her this morning. I saw her for 2 seconds. She said it was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve Brandano is going to be at the upfronts. Then you know it's a waste of time. Like, what are you doing
That's
there?
who they're presenting to, Steve
Yeah.
Brandano.
Steve, did you get to see our new lineup of shows? Yes, I did. Are there any other sales girls here?
That is a giveaway.
And how are you going to meet sales girls? You're going to walk up to them and tell them you're the host of the intern show?
No, I rarely never ever mention that I host the intern
How do you
show.
meet? How do you meet?
I
sales
say I
girls?
write jokes to Howard.
Oh yeah, yeah. I guess you do.
So
Yeah.
I'll go with that. No.
Well, so how are you going to meet girls there? Like you just kind of
There's-
hang out,
Well, they do. Yeah, they'll do like a presentation, but then it's just a party,
right?
and
Oh.
so everybody's just.
Well, you walk up to a
around.
girl and go, "Hey, how you doing?"
I'm gonna have to. Yeah. Yeah, so
I don't know why Ralph goes. I don't see him dating anyone ever. You know, Ralph just had his birthday this week. He's 46.
Wow.
Well, Ralph talks to the celebrities that are there.
Yeah, right.
I leave them alone and just go for the sales.
Excuse me, you know who I am? I'm Ralph. I'm a celebrity, too.
Will you be on my show?
Yeah. Well.
He's casting Geektime.
Are you? You're part of Geektime, right?
Yeah.
What do you do on there?
I run the board and play sounds like Fred during the show.
You think Ralph is difficult to work with?
At times, but for the most part, it's pretty cool. And
I've never seen a guy who turns off more people than Ralph.
He has tough moments, but
what is it with him?
I don't know. I get to do a lot of cool things with him too, so I can't come here and say bad things about him.
I was afraid of Ralph. Ralph somehow has some cloud over there.
No, Ralph always has a vision. You know what I mean? And he wants it done a certain way, and
Ralph.
And if it's not his way, it's tough, you know. But
can I tell you what I hear around here in the office?
What?
Like Ralph is like the king of that show, and it's his way or no way. and I know that there's a lot of fighting with everyone, but for some reason, Jason seems to have the ability to talk sense to him, and everyone in the office calls Jason the Ralph Whisperer.
He's the Ralph handler?
The Ralph Whisperer.
Jason's got his own problems too with Ralph too. It's not all that easy.
What could be the problem? I mean,
no, it's more like you.
Should I just get rid of the show? And
no, you shouldn't get rid of the show. I love working on the show. I love working with Ralph.
If he's turning into a super douchebag.
He's not.
He can't be getting carried away with Geek Time, can he?
I know there was one time that somebody great was coming and they could be interviewed, and Ralph thought they shouldn't have the interview if he wasn't there.
We interviewed James Cameron without him.
Yes,
that was a while ago.
And you got that fit, huh?
He was upset that he couldn't be a part of it.
Yeah.
But no. It's a good show. We get along.
I hear them fighting a lot over guests in terms of that. You know, the guys will make the argument that there's a guest that's good for the show, but Ralph goes, "Well, I don't watch that show, so I don't care about that."
Perfect example is Game of Thrones.
Right.
Game of Thrones is the geekiest show on TV.
Right.
The three of us, John, Jason, myself, love it. Ralph can't get into it, so we don't talk about it.
Oh my God! No, who is he? Hitler? I mean, did you have to reject some Game of Thrones guests?
No, we just know if a Game of Thrones guest comes up, we would have them on John Hines' TV show and talk to them on that.
Right.
It's usually how things work out, even out, you know.
How did Ralph get himself into a position of power? Who let that happen?
Tim, yeah.
Wow.
Well, because I think back in the day, we all pitched a similar show to Geek Time. It wasn't until Ralph got involved that we actually got a Geek Time show. So therefore,
it's Ralph's show.
People come and whisper stuff in my ear all the time. So, Steve, were you at Comic-Con last year?
Yes.
Was there an incident where Ralph didn't get his coffee fast enough and he threw his headphones?
I don't know anything. I'm not saying that. Like, I don't know anything about that.
On the show, Ralph couldn't get coffee.
He threw a tantrum.
Somebody just came and put I have no idea.
He was feeling the stress of Geek Time.
Comic-Con was stressful last year, though. There's a lot to be done.
There's a great documentary on Comic-Con.
Where's my coffee?
Playing right now.
Morgan Spurlock's.
Yeah,
he was a Geek Time guest.
Yeah, I have that.
Is that right?
It was good.
I haven't watched it yet. I have to watch.
Oh, you got to watch it.
You'll like it a lot.
Wow. Ralph couldn't get his coffee, so who did he yell at for that?
Would anybody come in to say that this story didn't happen?
Did you see it, Steve?
No, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm saying it was very hectic. I don't know.
Wasn't Ralph a parking lot attendant before he met me?
That was one of the jobs.
Yeah, right. I mean, nothing disparaging about that work. It's honest work, but, you know, it'd be such a...
he wasn't throwing coffee then.
I'll take the hit as the producer of the show.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Ralph did do that.
He did? So did he yell at
who
you?
was supposed to get the coffee?
Yeah, who's in charge of coffee?
It was so not this kid's fault. It was Ben Bardo, works on your tapes team downstairs. He's a great kid.
Why is Ben doing that?
Ralph was under a lot What
pressure?
He puts himself under pressure. He does. He puts himself under pressure. It's self-imposed.
Pressure.
Yes.
Wow.
And he sent the kid Ben to go get Starbucks. All the Starbucks were closed because it was so early.
Right.
So he waited on the one coffee place that was open that had a huge long line.
Right.
And by the time he got to Ralph, I don't know if Ralph was angry or it came. I don't know if the coffee was wrong or not what he ordered, but he goes, "You can't get me a fucking cup of coffee." And you're like,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Better he stay home. He can't get me.
I ordered a triple latte. What is this shit?
Oh, I wish I'd seen that.
No one is scared of Ralph. The whole thing is that Steve and I, we love doing Geek Time, and after mornings like this, it becomes very, very hard to keep doing Geek Time.
They're more,
get over it.
They're more afraid of losing the show than doing the show. But I mean, I think they figured it out a little bit better.
Did anyone tape Ralph having his tantrum? Like when
we weren't videotaping anything. We were setting up a radio show. No TV. I don't think so. You know what? I'll go back and check. But it was we were literally setting up the radio show when this happened. Like we're putting the mics up.
How did it take a year for me to? It usually trickles to me in about a day or two.
Yeah, just got it.
That's a great story.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
Wow. Is
Ralph's
it true,
not
Ralph?
calling in now.
Ralph won't go to Comic-Con if he has to share a room with one of the other guys. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. I'll say that one's true, yeah.
I'm not sleeping in another person.
Ralph has clearly never worked in radio or any place else.
No,
ever.
He's under the auspices of me.
He is not demanding. He is stating that he needs his own car to the airport. He needs his own plane ticket. He needs his own hotel room. Hotel
well,
needs
I
to
can
be.
understand his own plane ticket.
Well, no, I mean, like he did it not. Like last year was a big deal because Steve, Ralph, and I all live within a town of each other.
Right.
So they picked up, and we all had the same flight out there.
Right.
So they had a car pick up Steve, then pick up me, then pick up Ralph.
Right.
That was a major issue.
Why?
To Ralph.
Really?
Ralph wanted his own car.
Oh my God, man.
What have you spawned, Howard?
I don't know. Cancel that show.
No,
really.
I like the show.
Well, my work just got a lot lighter after today. I'm not on your computer. I'm not doing Geek Time.
You seem to be the problem.
It's all good.
Wow, Ralph wants his own car.
Ralph wants his own everything.
Wow.
Yes. He's
awesome.
you. He's you. On Geek Time, he is you.
Wow.
That is how he has set everything up.
Wow.
He's become me.
The show is definitely... It's Geek Time, but it's not all things geek. It's what Ralph likes, and I get that. Like
it's Ralph time.
In a way, it is
really Ralph time.
But it's what Ralph wants.
And this is where all of our issues come from, because I see it as Geek Time, where we're a show bringing geek information to a geek crowd.
It's like on the Today Show, Matt Lauer can't just do the interviews he wants to do. He's got to fit in with what's happening in the news.
And while Ralph has gotten better with it over the years, in the beginning it was no, this is Ralph's Geek Time. Like he really wanted to call it Ralph's Geek Time, and just have things that Ralph's interested in.
Like it's funny. Like Jason will come to me and I'll say it gets weird, but I'll say like, listen, you have to say to Ralph. Like, I'll talk to Howard, and Howard's not a huge sports guy.
Right.
And Howard will go, and you'll say, I'm not a huge sports guy, but I recognize that our audience likes sports people. So, yes, if you tell me that this is...
you got to expand your horizon.
You can't have that conversation.
He's gotten better. You couldn't have that conversation the first couple of years. He's gotten better. Like, we added a video game segment. He was never into video games.
I didn't realize he was running such a tight ship over there.
It's so weird, because it's not a tight ship. It's just don't piss off Ralph ship.
Wow.
Wow.
I like that he threw coffee.
He threw something.
Yeah.
He has gotten a lot better.
Bardo works his ass off.
Ben Bardo, first of all, I think flew himself out there. Like, we didn't even fly. He wanted to be out at Comic-Con just to help us out.
Let me ask you this, guys. And beyond, do you need Ralph for this show? Maybe he's the problem.
We did a show last week without Ralph, and it seemed to go great.
Yeah.
I love Ralph. I don't want to say... Listen... It's not the Howard Stern show. We couldn't do the Howard Stern show without Howard. We could do Geek Time without
I don't care
Ralph.
if Ralph's on there.
Steve just stepped away from the mic. He doesn't want to be a part of this at all.
You guys have talked about doing the show without Ralph, right?
We did the show without Ralph last
but you've
week.
talked about an overthrow, right?
No, never.
Come on.
Maybe in our dreams.
A coup.
We don't need that fucker.
All right, boys. Enough, Ralph.
Thank you.
All right, keep me posted. I like to hear all this. I like to be aware of all the shenanigans. Ralph, I just spoke about Geek Time for a half hour. That was the time to call in.
Well,
you know what it is? I got to meet with you later today, and I've got to get the show done. So if I start,
unfortunately, your Sirius app has a huge delay on it.
Well, I don't manufacture the Sirius app.
Yeah, but anyway,
how can there be a huge delay?
There is. I don't know. I was just getting.
You're the only one on a delay.
It's a big delay.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's 7 minutes.
Why?
Wow.
We don't know. It's just the way the app's set up.
Oh, I see.
It wasn't always like that, though.
I don't know anything about it, honestly.
I'll investigate it.
You know what? I can't do everything at the company. Some things are out of my control.
All right. Well, I will just quickly correct some things that were being said. Absolutely have things on the show that I'm not into. Game of Thrones, I've even talked about it, saying we should have somebody on. Just because I'm not into it doesn't mean I don't recognize it.
All right. Okay. Go ahead. And what about you throwing a cup of coffee?
I didn't have a tantrum. I think some things were just messed up there that morning. It was really crazy that morning. We were setting up for the show, and a lot of things weren't going right. And
that's funny. You throwing a tantrum.
But I didn't throw a tantrum.
No one can get me coffee around here.
It's really not true.
What is it, Jason? Is Ralph making too little of it?
Ralph, I mean, he kind of just said he had a tantrum, even though he's saying he didn't have a tantrum.
I didn't have a
coffee?
tantrum.
He threw the I think listen, he was dropping.
If there's no coffee, what coffee was I throwing?
You got mad when the coffee was brought to you. You were dropping. He woke up in the morning. He was dropping Red Bulls into his coffee. So I think he was over.
Yeah, and I
didn't
insist on separate cars and all this stuff. All
right, now you're just making stuff up, Ralph.
I'm not sharing a room with Jason again. I had to share a room with Fat Jason, who was snoring and up all night. I'm not sharing a room with him.
You had to share a room with me because no one wanted to share a room with you. I got voted into your room.
I'm not sharing a room with Jason. That's crazy.
I don't know. I mean, you know, Geek Time's a small
and I want
show.
the show a certain way. It is my show, and I want it a certain way. What's wrong with that?
Is it his show?
Yeah, I created it. And Steve's sitting there
Steve Brandano says he created it.
Ralph likes to call it his show.
Pitching a similar show. I could show you. I went into Tim's office and pitched this
Ralph came in
right
with a torn-up Entertainment Weekly.
Right.
Threw it down on the chair and said, "This is the show I want," and we helped create it with him. So we're all the creators of Geek Time.
I'm not saying nobody else helped put the show together, but Jason, come on, every segment.
Is Ralph the leader?
Everything.
Well, Ralph we need a leader.
Everything on the show I created. What did you create, Jason?
Everything on the show you created. So you created the opening montage?
Yeah, I said.
You put together the Geeking Outs at the end?
Exactly.
You created talking about TV and movies?
Yes.
You created talking about comic books? You created all of that.
Every segment I put
Every segment.
On the show.
Okay, well, then you don't need me.
I'm not saying you didn't
help
me.
So you're bowing out of the Geek Time, Jason?
I didn't realize I had such little influence on Geek Time. I didn't realize that Ralph created literally every single thing we hear on the air. This is new to me.
That montage came from me saying to Steve, hey, we should have a montage at the beginning of the show like previously on. Don't rewrite history.
You know what, Ralph? Everything great on Geek Time came from you.
I'm not saying that.
You just did.
It's a group effort.
You just said everything came from you.
Do you know what a creator of something is? Doesn't mean you do everything yourself. You have help with it.
But you created everything.
Where did
You created the montage by saying, I want a montage.
Exactly.
So no matter how good or bad the montage is, you created it.
Steve does it every week, and I say he does a great job doing it, but the idea for that came from me, no?
You created montage? I don't know, Ralph. We all worked on the show together. You were not the first person that came up with the idea of doing a geek show on Sirius. I know you like to say you are, but you aren't. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I didn't see anybody else doing it.
I heard you're mad, Ralph, that John Hine does a show on the channels about television.
Well, it's kind of. I'm not mad. It's kind of very. Similar.
I am.
It's very similar to Geek Time. Jason and I are in full agreement with that. It's kind of like it's doing a segment of Geek Time, but
John, if I could, Ralph, because we're on the same page on this one. John is a co-host of Geek Time, and one of his major contributions is talking about television.
So why did he have a spinoff of his own?
And then, for example, a couple weeks ago, on Thursday afternoon, I hear John and Steve talking about the Walking Dead finale on What's Worth Watching for an hour, and then they came on Geek Time and talked about the same thing.
All right, are you watering down Geek Time, John?
God, no. This is the stupidest argument I've been hearing from these guys.
And Tim.
No, not from Tim.
Tim said it to me.
Tim put the show on.
Jason, don't be an asshole.
I can't help it.
I know. When I came to the channels, I told Tim a long time ago I'd love to do a show about TV. And over the years, I've been working on it, and we came up with the concept, and we did it. But I don't think it takes anything away from Geek Time having me talk about TV the day before. Because we don't cover the same things.
I like that Geek Time and the TV show are fighting.
But they do fight over guests.
That's true.
That there's a problem there.
It's a weird thing where I'm now fighting with the co-host of Geek Time over guests for Geek Time.
Wow.
It's very odd, and I don't like it.
JD evidently is upset about this.
Yeah, JD thinks Jason's ridiculous about this.
No.
Well, because JD's on your TV show.
He's your other co-host. Of course he's on your side.
I'd just like to hear JD yelling about this. Sounds funny.
Oh, he got really upset at Jason. Really upset. It was, well, JD, you should come in and explain it. But it was over a couple of guests. And just
I like this all comes from Steve's bad joke.
Hey, JD, what's the story? You are upset with Jason?
I was upset with Geek Time thinking they're king shit around here with the guest situation. Because they get first call on guests, supposedly.
Why?
I try, that's what I assume, but I try and say it's because it's not really my fight.
We've been doing the show for 3 years or more, and we built up a relationship with Sirius.
Okay.
The guests come on Geek Time, and they're happy coming on Geek Time. And Spencer,
and we don't have guests that are happy on our show too. What, we treat our guests like shit?
What happened was when John first told me he was doing the show, I said one of the things I don't want to happen is that I'm trying
fighting over guests,
right? And then so John, and to John's credit, he said, "Listen, you just let me know who you want for Geek Time first, and we'll go for everyone after that." And it's worked out for the most part. It's worked out fine.
I think JD articulated the point very well. So you're saying to Ralph, "Hey, Ralph, you're not the only one around here who needs guests, and why should you have first dibs? Big deal."
Yeah, I can't think of who it was specifically, but there was someone that is for TV, but for some reason, Geek Time had to have him for whatever reason. I can't remember who it was.
Well, it's got to be weird because John is on both shows, and now he's fighting over guests with himself.
That's why. That's why I told John, just don't ask me about guests anymore because I'll get pissed if we can't.
I think John should pick one show, and then he could have whatever guests he wants.
Well, John, listen. Obviously, this is controversy. I like John's TV show. I like Geek Time. I like all these shows, but I like that also you're fighting it out. I like.
What's your favorite part of John's TV show?
Of John's TV show when he talks about shows that have jumped the shark.
He doesn't do that.
He doesn't do that.
What's your favorite part about Jason's Fat Guy show?
John,
he didn't say he loved it.
What's your favorite part of Geek Time? Same thing.
John, I like when you talk about geek shows. All right, boys, everybody out of here now and let Robin do what's really important.
Geek Time this week, Brian Koppelman and Brian Michael Bendis.
All right, I guess John Hine won't be having those on his show.
Jerry,
yes.
We did a show last week without Ralph.
Elaborate on that. This is sort of like a pent-up orgasm for some of the staff.
Yeah, and when Ralph sees this, he's going to get all pissed off. He's got to understand it's not a fucking conspiracy against Ralph or any of that. We all have our shit to deal with, and so at the beginning, Ralph was tough to deal with, and the guys would get freaked out because they wanted to talk about stuff, and Ralph wasn't willing to have conversation. So, but everybody doesn't want to piss Ralph off, so no one's ever talked about it.
This fear of Ralph, is this because he's Howard's buddy?
No. Jason's right on the money. They like the show. They don't want to lose the show.
Well, why would they think that the show would be lost if...
Well, because if you piss Ralph off, he'll just fire you.
He has that much power.
It's his show.
Fellas, this is like a pent-up... This is like Blue Balls being released right now.
I think it's more just old stories coming up. Neither Steve or I ran into the studio out of anger. It was more responding to notes that were being pulled up, which is fair game. Listen, people collect bits of info and trivia all year long, and
that's what his email said.
But these things have actually happened. It's not as if you're making them up or trying to stir the pot.
Correct.
These are This is factual information. The coffee throwing, the bitching over the car service. But at the end of the day, he holds the power ring, which creates a difficult situation for you guys who enjoy it.
Power ring is a weird term. There's two reasons that I don't like doing this shit on the air with Ralph. One is because he doesn't respond to it well, and then it's hard to work with him. Yeah. Especially that afternoon, but it could lead to literally months of phone calls and meetings and double phone calls, and it's a lot of agita that I would rather not deal with. And two, I really do enjoy doing Geek Time, and especially, if Ralph blows up and says, I'm not fucking working on this show anymore, I don't know how Tim will respond. I don't know if Tim will say, well, fuck it, Geek Time's over forever. And none of us want that. And none of us hate working with Ralph. This isn't about not like working with Ralph, but things happen when you work with somebody, and it comes up on the Howard Stern show. What can you do?
And he's incapable of separating personal beefs with the overall goal.
You'd have to ask Ralph that, but no, he's not. I know Ralph's, he's not here. We're here. We're up at 6 in the morning. He wakes up whenever, so he feels like he's not always there to defend himself and give his side of the story. I understand his frustration. On the other end, he's got to understand where we work, and it's we can't have one set of rules for him and another set of rules for everybody else. It came up in, as like Gary likes to say, an organic way today, and you play the cards you're dealt, buddy.
You had to speak the truth.
I can't lie, and I couldn't sit there and let that coffee story go on with no one. It happened. No, I didn't say it either. I saw it. I didn't tell Gary. I don't know if Ben called Gary and told him about it, but it was just sitting. The truth isn't happening.
Right. If this happened with anyone else on the show, it would be front page material.
It wasn't a lie, like Ronnie 0.0 was all made up. It's this really happened.
Steve.
Yeah.
That was one of the most unbelievable.
You really do. I'm not scared of Ralph. I'm talking more about way more than what I've done for 2 years here. Like every fucking day, Howard is like, what? This one fucking joke that he didn't get.
So you're still
how many? Yeah, that is way. I don't give a fuck about the Ralph thing. The Ralph thing, Jason will take the hit on it. Jason will deal with all the shit that has to come with that. It's way more of the shit that I've been doing and talking about doing and enjoyed doing for the show for the at least about 2 years. I've been kind of doing on my own. Yeah, Howard going, what? Who let that intern by there? That is what has me way more rattled than anything that involves Ralph.
Duly noted. Does today officially mark the end of your David Bowie references?
You know, he's liked a lot of my other David Bowie jokes in the past.
Well, that's what I was going to get at. What's your percentage of success to failure?
I don't just throw up jokes.
Right.
So I have a pretty good percentage. Just today, I have probably a 5 out of 6.
I didn't think it was really that bad.
I know. I'll stand by it. It wasn't bad. I don't think he understood what it was when it went up. And then he did, and he's decided that he's hated it. But that's the way it goes, I guess.
But you pulled off a hell of a 180 in there. I mean, you went from being highly criticized to he brought you right back in to say how much better you're looking. He gave a little personal update.
Yes, I guess.
All in all, things could have gone far, far worse.
Yeah, and I guess he'll forget that I'm the one on the computer and keep going. I always thought it was my spelling that would do me in, not the David Bowie joke. That's what surprises me. I always thought it would be my spelling. Like I
will tell you that a spelling doesn't mean on the wrap-up show.
Yeah.